Die, monster! You don't belong in this world. It is not by my hand that I am once again given flesh. I was brought here by humans who wish to pay me tribute. Tribute! You steal men's souls and make them your slaves. Perhaps the same could be said of all religions. Your words are as empty as your soul. Mankind ill needs a savior such as you. What is a man? A miserable pile of secrets. But enough talk. Have at you.
Now watch, I go into overdrive.
I bring in my phasers like that.
Welcome to Gamers Overdrive Retro Mode. Kick back and relax while I blast you back in time and guide you down a pixelated, coin-operated, button-mashing memory lane paved with joysticks, consoles, and dusty old cartridges. Where good guys are always good guys, bad guys are always bad guys, and the fate of the universe lies in your hands. Time to kick it into overdrive. Retro Mode. Insert coin to play.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Gamers Overdrive Retro Mode. If this is your first time on the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit that little ringy-dingy bell thing in the corner so you get notifications, and please like this video if you enjoy what you see. Now, this is a very special episode because you only get one chance to review your favorite game of all time, and this is the shot. So, Castlevania Symphony of the Night is, let's just get it out of the way, it is, in my opinion, objectively the best video game ever created. It was created by Koji Igarashi back in late 90s. I think in 1997 it was released on the PlayStation 1, and it just totally took the world by storm. Castlevania had been a very popular franchise that started, I think it started way back in the arcades, but NES is where it really got its legs. And so it was, a hack and slash, classic hack and slash until you make it to the end and then you kill Dracula. But this game really took that and expanded on it in every possible way. It turned it into an RPG. It gave this, it gave these RPG elements to just to the franchise that it didn't have before. So you could actually increase your experience points. You could find new weapons. You could apply different kind of talismans and different items that would increase your stats. And you can change forms. These things had never been done before in a Castlevania game. Now, I can't tell you just on a personal level how much this game means to me. I've put more time into this game than any other game ever, and probably more than all of the other games combined that I've ever played. It's just the kind of game I love to play multiple times a year, but especially around Halloween. I just get this kind of craving for Castlevania Symphony of the Night whenever Halloween comes around. It's got this, it's not a scary game, so to speak. It's not survival horror, it's not Resident Evil, it doesn't jump scare you, but it just has this eerie, kind of creepy gothic medieval vibe to it that just kind of sets the mood right for the season. And the music is without a doubt the best music in gaming. I would highly recommend listening to the soundtrack for Symphony of the Night. It's just perfect. It's just this incredible orchestrated soundtrack that every piece of music perfectly suits the environment that it represents. The main character of this game is Alucard. He's the son of Dracula. Alucard, Dracula spelled backwards. He's the perfect protagonist. He's got this. He's human, half human, and half vampire, and he's got this kind of I don't know, like a ghostly vibe to him. But he's also got this heart, and he's got this, he knows the difference between right and wrong. And so you know that he's a good guy, but you also know that he has got this dark streak. And that just adds this edge to him that just makes you really want to play the game more. It's, as far as just gameplay, let's say replay value, for me, It's endless. As I said, it's, you know, I got the game in '97. I've been playing it every year since then. Endless replay value because there's so many different paths that you can take in the castle. You can take, you know, you can go north, south, east, west. You can apply different weapons. You can focus on different weapons. You know, there are secret weapons that you can get if you apply different talismans that increase your luck. You can find magic spells, or you don't need to do the magic spell route at all. It's just very flexible in that way, and now that's kind of a given in the modern era. You know, games like Demon Souls, for example, I don't know, Dark Souls, or even you know, name a modern RPG. They all take these things for granted, but back in this time, it was a very new, groundbreaking type of game mechanic, and not to mention the gameplay. It's just this perfectly tight, well-designed gameplay. The jumping, the platforming, the fighting, and the boss battles, everything is just so fine-tuned, and Igarashi is just a master at this. And if you want to play a modern game by the master Igarashi, there's a game called Bloodstained: Ritual of the Night, which is the spiritual successor to Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It is as close to a sequel as we will probably ever get, considering that he no longer works for Konami. He had kind of a falling out with the Konami, who develops and runs the Castlevania games. So, Bloodstained, beautiful game, amazing game, but it's not Symphony of the Night. It is not the best game ever made. There's only one best game ever made, and that title, that championship title, can only go to, in my opinion, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Now, in this video, you're going to see me play through until I die, and normally I would probably last a lot longer, but I'm talking, I'm analyzing the game as I go, and I'm kind of getting nostalgic, as I tend to do. But it's just, really, I hope that this video will, if you have never played the game before, I hope that it gets you to immediately seek it out and just download the game. You can download it on Android. They have a really good version on Android, which is the version that I'm playing today. You can also get it on PS4. PS4 recently released it in a collection. It's pretty affordable too. You can get it on Xbox, you can get it on PlayStation 3, PlayStation 1, PSP, you name it. There are tons of ways to get this game there. You can also emulate it if you want. Any way that you play it, you can't go wrong. It is, again, I'll never say this again. I will never ever say, I know it doesn't matter how many games I review. If I review 1,000,000 games in my career as Johnny Retro, I will never ever say that there is the best game ever other than now. So, Castlevania Symphony of the Night is the best game ever made. It is just a must-have. So please, if you don't have it, if you've never played it, please download it, play it, enjoy it. Especially around this time of year, it's an incredible game. So here we go. Let's get into some gameplay. Castlevania Symphony of the Night in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so here we are inside of the Android version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This is available on the Play Store. It's about $5. You can catch it on a sale. It's an incredible version of the game. This is a slightly modified version of the game where the dialogue is updated, and I think this was kind of originally done in the PSP version, if I'm not mistaken. They revamped the dialogue a little bit so it's not quite as delightfully cheesy as it was in the original PlayStation game. It's an acquired taste, but the gameplay, the music, everything else is perfecto. It's exactly as it should be. And you can play it in widescreen. It's got just very nice high-definition visuals. So here we are inside of the app. And as you see, we are just kind of scrolling through the menus here. And you can go to Settings. I'm putting the background music on pretty low, almost to the point where it's off, just so you'll be able to hear my voice. But the background music is just the best in gaming. It's got the best soundtrack, hands down, in gaming, in my opinion. Sound effects are also awesome. Going to keep those a little bit low, just so you can hear me again. But we have things like achievements, Not really into that, but I'm going to create a new game, and let me just name myself over here. Just create a brand new file here. And I haven't really played through that much on the Android version, just because I usually have a game going on either my PSP, my Vita, or even now on the PS4. I have the PS4 version. So I haven't really dived into this just yet. But from what I have seen and from what I've been tinkering around with, it's just a really great way to play the game. And I am playing with a PS4 controller, wireless PS4 controller. Works with Bluetooth on any Android phone just about. And it's just a perfect way to play. I mean, this game was designed originally to be played on the PlayStation, and this is really just an evolution of the PlayStation controller. So here we're looking at the intro. It's got this really cool kind of pixelized, digitalized intro where it shows the castle of Castlevania that pops up every 100 years or so. And only those members of the Belmont clan can come and defeat the evil that lies within. For some reason, their blood, the bloodline of the Belmont people, is just the kryptonite to the vampires. So here we have Richter Belmont, and what you're looking at is essentially what is supposed to be the last scene of Castlevania Bloodlines, which was a game that was released on I believe it was the TurboGrafx CD, and it was also released later on the Super Nintendo as Dracula X. But it was, you know, a little known Castlevania game. It wasn't as popular as some of the other ones. But it is overall a really good Castlevania game. It was really highly rated back when it came out. But it's, you know, pretty standard Castlevania fare. And just, it's kind of weird because you can go up here on your first playthrough. There's a little trap door. It's totally unnecessary to go up here, other than to get a few extra hearts. And hearts power up your secondary weapon, which you can see here. I have like a little boomerang type deal. And it's weird because you see all these weapons here, the moon rod and all that stuff. None of these are usable by this character here. This is kind of just I don't know, you'd call it a fan service really, because it's just kind of giving you a peek of what's to come in this game. And this beautiful, beautiful game, Power of Sire. That's not something you see until much later in the game. So again, you are Richter Belmont here, and as such, as a member of the Belmont clan, it is your duty to destroy Dracula. That's your job. So that's what I'm doing. And here we see Dracula in all his glory. Let's listen to this.
Die now and leave this world. You'll never belong here.
Oh, but this world invited me. Your own kind called me forth with praise and tribute.
Tribute? You're a thief. You steal men's souls, their freedom.
Freedom is always sacrificed to faith, good hunter. Or are you truly here by choice?
All I'm here for is you. To hell with your heresy. You're nothing but a blight on mankind.
Ha! Mankind. A cesspit of hatred and lies. Fight for them then, and die for their sins.
Now, any purist will just say that that's a sacrilege right there, that they've totally destroyed the dialogue that made the game famous. Yeah, I could see that, definitely, but for me it doesn't really matter. I mean, this game is so much more than cheesy dialogue. Cheesy dialogue is a very big part of what makes it endearing to, you know, just to retro gamers like me, just because we can look back and kind of giggle at stuff like that. But it was cheesy even at the time. It was never Shakespeare, you know? So it's not something that needs to be totally, you know, upheld as something that can't be altered. But, you know, if you want the original dialogue, you do have to play a different version of the game. But luckily for you, there are countless versions of this game available. If you go on the PlayStation Network, you can get it for PlayStation 1. You can get it for PlayStation 4. They have this brand new version for PlayStation 4. It's also available on Xbox 360, which is you know, you can play that on the Xbox One through their Xbox Live service. So it's like there's so many ways to play this game. It's not even funny. So for me, just playing it on Android it's a no-brainer. I mean, I have my phone on me all the time, and I love this game so much. So when I get the itch to play Symphony of the Night, I have my phone on me. I can just load it up, and I don't even have to worry about configuring anything, because even though I do like using the wireless PS4 controller, the on-screen buttons in this game work perfectly well. The touch controls, which I generally hate touch controls of any kind. I'm a retro dude, and I don't like touch controls at all. I don't even get how people can play touch controls for the most part. I'm being regenerated here, by the way. You can't really lose this fight, which it's kind of like a story. It's like an interactive story. This intro, you're fighting Dracula, but you're not really fighting Dracula because it's really just the intro to the game. And you know, I'm being cheap in the way that I'm beating him, but that's totally fine because it's just the intro. So, with him defeated, now we can see that we're stepping into the future here, and the future past. But we can read this here. And this is unskippable, by the way. Slightly annoying, but considering that you play this game for 20, 30 plus hours, it's not that big of a deal.
Set out to find him, but knew not where to begin. It was then that fate intervened. Castlevania, the castle of Dracula, rumored to appear once every century, suddenly materialized from the mist, as if to show her the way.
So the castle's name is Castlevania.
Powerful forces struggled for the soul of a man named Alucard. He who had once fought alongside Trevor Belmont against his own immortal father,
Alucard.
himself. To purge the world of his own cursed bloodline, Alucard had submerged his vampiric powers and fallen into what was meant to be
Submerged his vampiric powers.
But now he awakens to the cackles of evil and cries of the innocent. The eternal battle of good and evil has come full circle once more. Dracula's castle beckons for you, and no man can say who will emerge victorious.
No man can say. I am no man. So there you have it. There's the intro to this pretty much perfect game. You're about to see just poetry in motion. This is hands down my favorite game of all time. So we have the starting of the story in medias res, right in the middle of things. We have Alucard jumping right into the castle, no questions asked. He's in there. Now look at this, boom! You're immediately faced with a huge werbeast, and you slay him instantly. Now, one thing that's very worth noting about Alucard as a hero in the Castlevania series is that he is not a Belmont. If you take a look at his name is Alucard. It's Dracula spelled backwards. He is in fact the son of Dracula. Son of Dracula and a human woman. First time in the series, as far as I'm aware of, don't quote me on that, but I think it's the first time in the series when a Belmont was not the main character. So usually it's these Belmont people who are humans and they're out to kill Dracula, but unfortunately their slaying of him only lasts 100 years and he comes back every 100 years. But now we have Alucard, who is this half-human, half-vampire, and he does not wield a whip, he wields a sword, which is a really, really awesome sword. And if you do like the fireball Hadouken motion, you can do this cool like little side technique. And just look at the effects here. And the pixel work in this game is just second to none. It is absolutely beautiful. The scrolling effects, the trail, the shadow behind him as he walks. Look at the animation of his cape and his hair. This is, I believe this came out in 1997, and 2D was kind of on the way out at that time. It was really 3D that ruled the day. Everybody wanted to play 3D games, even though they were pretty rough looking for the most part. But this was really the pinnacle of 2D pixel artwork and gaming. And it did not go unnoticed because it was critically acclaimed. And it is just, I mean, it holds up so well. And it's not just the graphics that hold up well, it's everything about it. The music, the art design. Look at the animation of that window there, it's so cool. It's the gameplay. Like, you can see me running around here and just, you know, moving around with ease. It is so tight, it's so well made. Super easy to play. And I'm just killing some zombies here. And this game is really the introduction of the open world, semi-open world castle, which is heavily inspired by the Metroid series from Nintendo. And that's kind of why this game is really the starting point of what they came to call the Metroidvania genre. So it's kind of a combination of Castlevania and Metroid. And this was the game that really created the Metroidvania style. So we have just this amazing castle. Starts on a really high mark with this high energy. And it's really always fun to start fighting the enemy, the final boss. When you start a game fighting the final boss, I always love that. Little secret passages here. They're just giving you, see, this is all teaching you. This is all game design 101, you know. This has very little use, this little wall, this broken cave rock wall, other than to teach you that certain walls are breakable. And so it does a great job at that. And here, if you go down here, totally optional. You don't even have to go down here if you don't want to. But you'll see these little merman creatures down in the water. And if you take a look over here, you can see that this is locked off. So these little locked off areas become very important later. So I can even teleport over there, but I can't pass that wall until later in the game. So you're able to see certain things that you don't have access to, and that's always fun in a game, because it just shows you a grand kind of scope, and it lets you know, if I keep exploring, maybe I'll get there. And you know, it's one of the big things of this game is leveling up, and that's also a new concept to the Castlevania series. So Alucard is leveling up constantly with every hit, every attack that he makes. You see that? There it is, right there. He leveled up, and every time he levels up, you can go to your menu here, and you can see his experience points will go up, and that increases your strength, it increases your abilities, and it just adds this role-playing element to a game that didn't previously have it. This Castlevania series was previously just a side-scrolling kind of hack-and-slash adventure, and here's the Grim Reaper himself.
Alucard, what is your business here?
I've come to put an end to this.
Ever the insolent boy. But there'll be no games here. If you will not behave, be gone.
I will do neither. Step aside, old man.
Such arrogance. Very well. But I shall see you very soon.
Look at that. All of my weapons and items are taken away. So they give you a taste. When you start the game, they give you a little taste of some of the weapons and the, skills that he has. But now they're all taken away, and you got nothing but your fists. Look at this. I have nothing left but my little fists here. Isn't that sad? There is a little trick that you can do in this game. I believe if you go back, I can't do it now, but see this guy right here. If you strike him with your sword before you go and see the Grim Reaper, if you hit him right at the right moment, I'm sorry, that's wrong. If he hits you at the right moment, you'll get knocked all the way through across, and you can skip this whole Grim Reaper series. You won't even meet the sequence, you won't even meet the Grim Reaper, and you get to keep all your weapons. But it honestly doesn't make that big of a difference in the game, considering that you get much stronger weapons later in the game anyway. So you're basically starting from scratch, and you got nothing but your fists. And one of the cool things about this game is that you can apply things to different parts of your body. Your right hand and your left hand, So your right hand can have a sword and your left hand can have a shield, or vice versa. You could also have 2 different types of swords in each hand. You can get things like helmets, things like different capes that can have different properties, boots, and all types of magical little elements that you can add to your character that enhance your abilities. And things like luck also play a big role in this game. So if you have maybe if you have a talisman, applied to yourself that has a high luck point, then it would increase the chance that a rare item would fall out of one of these little candles that you break. So none of this was all groundbreaking stuff at the time. This was totally groundbreaking. If you were a Castlevania fan from back in the NES days, this was just unheard of. You knew that you had a whip, and you go whip things until you make it to Dracula, and then you beat the game. But this totally groundbreaking game mechanics, and they did such a good job with it, and it just has such good staying power. And this is a game that I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating when I say that this is the best game ever made, and that's objectively true. It's a game that I play throughout the year, every year, and have done so ever since it was released. So this game came out in 1997. I've been playing it ever since. So that's a very long time. And consistently, I would say I probably have logged more hours in this game than any other game. Maybe more than all other games combined. Now, you see I got a sword there, so I can go over to my little, let's see, my thing over here, and I can just apply the sword. And now when I strike, I have a sword instead of just my hand. But my other hand still has nothing. So I have a sword in one hand, I have nothing in the other hand. If I get a shield, I can put it in the other hand, or if I get another sword, I can put it over there too. So you're basically starting from scratch. You're starting from nothing. And I love that. And this is one game that I never mind. I never mind starting over in this game. In fact, I kind of love it. I love starting over and just building myself up again. And, these enemies, 1, 2, 3, I took 3 hits, see, another sword right there. I took 3 hits to kill him. Eventually he'll take 1 hit, and then he'll be like a nothing. But, let me go over and equip my sword. So that little sword that I had right there, the red rust. Now this is a 2-handed sword, so it takes up 2 hands. And here is the coolest thing. I love this little save area. So this is the save area from back in the PS1 days. And when you hit up, it turns into a coffin, which is really cool. That's your little coffin there. And your data is saved on a memory card. If you were back in the PlayStation 1 days, you needed a memory card. Back in those days, now everything, of course, is built in, so you don't have to worry about that. But it's a very nice throwback. I love that they kept that. Now look at this. This is called the Cube of Zo, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Cube of Zo. What does the Cube of Zo do? Now that is a relic, so it causes items to materialize. I think certain items are not materialized yet, and that helps them materialize. But never really thought much about what that first relic did. So now look at this. This is the pass-through. See, this little pass-through section. This is what separates different parts of the castle, and very nicely designed. And just look at the pixel art. I love the pixel art in this game. Look at the column, marble column in the background. Look at the scrolling effects. Look at these the statues, marble statues, with these really nice details, and just the lighting effects. So simple and yet so detailed at the same time. And this red rust sword really sucks. So let me switch over back to the short sword. And yeah, I mean, this is just great intro to the castle. It really eases you in a really nice kind of a steady pace. And see, I gotta hide Curious there, so I can go over to my body here, and I can put that on, and that will increase my.
Hey Dad, it's August.
Hello, sweetie. So yeah, I applied that hide Curious there, and now my defense goes up. So you see over here we have strength, I don't know what CON is. I can't remember. Conditioning? I don't know. Intelligence, luck, attack right, attack left, and defense. So you build up with time your strength and your intelligence. And it's just a really fun way to play a game. And those little, the little areas with the coffin where you can save, that's just the perfect little cutoff point. So whenever you get tired of your exploring of this castle, you just save in one of those little spots, and you can continue whenever you want. So I just remember playing this game so many times. And look at this, see this, the little false floor here, little secret passageway. What's in here? There we go. So life max up. So my life has maxed up. And, you don't need to get that. That's a totally optional little secret. And if you don't think to slash walls and floors in here, you would never know that that was there. Which is why this game is really, look at this, another one. It really helps to swing your sword at everything that you can see in this game. You see a wall, it's worth at least taking a shot at it just to see if it cracks. Because there are so many secret passages. And of course there are guides online that can tell you where everything is. But it's more fun to just explore yourself and just see what you're able to find on your own. Now, as you see, I have to jump from platform to platform. Platforming is a huge element of this game. And it becomes easier as you play the game because you get different abilities like the double jump and like a really super powered high jump. And those things make just jumping on these platforms that much easier. And this little guy here, if he drops his drop on you, that little drop of poison, then you get poisoned, and that's an effect that lasts, a set period of time. And some enemies like this guy right here, 1, 2, let's see how many hits it takes, 3, 4, 5, 6, whoops. I gotta get out of there. 6 hits so far, 7, see? 7, later in the game he'll be a one-hit guy. As your experience gets higher and higher, he gets stronger and stronger. And you can also just avoid these guys if you don't want to mess with them right now, which is like me right now. And you can see my health is at 45 at the moment. And if you want to increase your health, there are many ways to do it. You can go to, your, let's see, my unarmed hand, and I can put something that I've collected. I can put a potion that increases my health, my hit points or whatever, health points. Your pot roast, a turkey, all of these things increase your health. So it's funny, when you drop it, it just flops on the floor and you can eat it. And these stupid spider guys always poison me. And there are different antidotes to that poison, but it wears off within like 10-15 seconds anyway. So, and the cool thing is when you come to these save points, it resets your health and it also neutralizes any poison effects or anything like a curse that you have on you. You all get neutralized, you get set back to 0, and you're good to go again. Now my health is full and I'm ready to go back on the attack. And Alucard is just such a cool protagonist. He's got this, just his persona is so cool. And I love the fact that he's, kind of half evil. He's got the human side to him, which wants to stop Dracula, but he's also got that dark side, that kind of dark, twisted nature that cannot be denied. So we have, cool side weapons like this axe. I never liked the axe when I originally played this game, but I learned that it's kind of the trajectory of that axe is really useful for a lot of the bosses in this game, like the one I'm about to fight right now. So here we have the first boss in the game. He's like a 2-part boss. He's got this guy that carries him, and then he drops on you. He kind of drops him down on you. And the axe is kind of perfect for fighting this guy, or these two guys, because they both have their own health, their own hit points or whatever. So you have to kill both of them in order to progress past this. And I'm almost out of my hearts here. And hearts are what powers your secondary weapon. So if you run out of hearts, you don't have any more secondary weapon, which is the axe or a knife or whatever else you're carrying. And let me see if I can just kill this dude without having him do anything crazy on me. Normally I just don't even think about this guy because he's pretty easy, but see, now he's turned red. That means he's on the way out. So that guy is pretty much done as soon as I get to him. And the other one I've hit plenty of times, so let me give myself a turkey or something over here so I, so I don't die. Yeah, turkey would be nice. Let's flop a turkey on the floor and eat it. It's always good practice. And going back over here, ducking those fireballs. And there we go, that guy's dead. And I leveled up on him, that's nice. And all that's left is this little guy here, which isn't going to be too hard, I don't think. Dodge his fireballs. It's funny how many times I've played these guys, and it just never gets old. They're so well designed. They're so fun to kill, and they're fun to just read the patterns and fight. And it never gets old, for me anyway. I just play this game forever, and I have been. Seriously, since 1997 I've been playing this game. My God, I got it when it was brand new, and this is one of those rare games that just has given me more replay value than I ever imagined it would. Because really, for me, this game is not about beating the game. It's all about the gameplay loop. It's all about this kind of risk-reward arc, I guess you'd call it, where you're just... the game is leading you to increase your experience points. It's leading you to get stronger and to, you know, fight stronger enemies, and it's giving you rewards as it does that. It's giving you experience, it's giving you new weapons, giving you new cool techniques and, you know, abilities. And Alucard later in the game, he gets the ability to turn into different forms. So he can take on the form of Mist, which is really cool. And when he turns into Mist, he can pass through grates and certain areas that you wouldn't get through otherwise. He can also turn into a bat, which allows you to fly up to really high, lofty areas. And he can turn into a wolf, which is just awesome because he's a wolf. So, yeah, it's the gameplay itself that's the draw here. You're not playing to win, even though eventually you will win. You know, if you keep playing the game, you're going to get so strong that by the time you get to Dracula, he's not going to be much of a challenge. He'll still be a challenge, but there are certain weapons that you can get in this game that just make Dracula like a nobody. There's this one sword, I think it's pronounced Chrysagram. It's the Chrysagram sword. Later in the game, if you up your luck, if you just wear a lot of, what would you call it, a talisman that ups your luck, and if you use some luck items to enhance your luck, there's a certain area of the castle that you can go to. If you keep killing the same enemy over and over and over and leave and then come back in and kill again, eventually, it's like guaranteed eventually that this sword will drop, and the sword is called the Chrysagram, and one press of the button slices like 1,000 times. It's incredible. Awesome sword. But you have to be very patient and you have to put in the time to get a weapon like that. But if you have the focus and you have the dedication, you can sit there for like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, or longer sometimes. And I've done it like 3 or 4 times. So I even did it like recently, like a couple of years ago. And totally worth it because it's such an awesome weapon. But once you get that weapon, the game is pretty much done, because if you have a high level of experience and you have that sword, nobody's a challenge anymore. Dracula himself, I think I beat Dracula with that sword in like, I'm not even exaggerating, like 6 or 7 seconds. You just go in there, slash, 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 and 6 or 7 seconds he's dead. It's really awesome. And it's worth getting the sword to do that for me. But you know, there are so many different ways to challenge yourself in this game. There's so many different secrets and so many different ways to enjoy this incredible game. And you know, I really think that I don't know if any game has really rivaled this in my own personal opinion. There, of course, was Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which was made by the same creator. And that was an it's really the sequel to this game. So it's as good of a sequel as we're probably ever going to get. And it is a totally worthy sequel. It's amazing. Same gameplay mechanics, same gameplay loop, and the same just high quality artwork and music and gameplay, character design. But it's not quite Symphony of the Night, you know? It is awesome, and I love it, and I played all the way through it, beat everything, and I would do it again, but it's not quite Symphony of the Night. I don't know how else to put it. It's as close as you're going to get without being Symphony of the Night. So I really wish they would just remake Symphony of the Night, this game, just the exact same game with modern graphics. You know, that's all I want. Because this game is perfect as far as I'm concerned, but just to add a little new life to it, I think that would be really cool. They remake everything these days, so why not remake the best game ever made? Why not? You know, what do they have to lose? I'll definitely buy it. So, you know, as you play through the castle, you can see how just vast this castle is. And let me see if I can pull up the. I'm actually not sure how to pull up the map on the Android version. But the map is really how you navigate this game. It shows you as a blip on the screen, and you can see where you've been. You can see which rooms you've been into in the castle and which rooms you have not been in. And it's just the ideal way to navigate the castle. So I would say, let me see if it's over here somewhere. No, it's got to be just a button that I can't figure out, or maybe a button combination. But anyway, it's an essential tool. The map is an essential tool for playing this game. Now, as you see, I mean, this game it takes forever to play. It takes a long time, and you can just bury hours and hours into this game, because as you see, I'm really just exploring. I'm breaking lanterns, getting hearts, and killing enemies. And every enemy, remember I told you, every enemy that I fight, look at these creepy little marionette dolls that float. Every enemy that you kill gives you experience, which just makes it that much more enticing to try and fight every enemy that you can. And as I said before, every wall is worthy of, you know, checking to see if you can break it. Of course, you could check an online manual and see which walls are breakable, but as I said before, that takes away some of the fun. And yeah, so this game is all about exploration. It's all about trying things that you haven't tried out yet. And there's this really cool slide mechanic. So when you're fighting an enemy, you're fighting like a boss, you could do a quick backslide, just to slide out of the way. And there's so many different techniques and abilities that you can get, as I mentioned. And I normally don't take this path. I normally have a different route that I take. But that's the cool thing. Like, that makes it fresh every time you play. You can take different routes. You can take different paths. This is like and see, I died there. That would never happen if I was more focused. But look at that cool, awesome, just game overs. Even the game over screen is beautiful. So there you have it. Symphony of the Night. I would say, you know, I'm not exaggerating when I say this is my all-time favorite game. I think it is objectively the best video game ever made. It has without a doubt, my highest overdrive rating. Overdrive rating for this. If I had a higher rating, I would give it. I should even make a category that's just special for Symphony of the Night. I should make like that the pinnacle of my rating system. We have, you know, Rad, Overdrive, and then Symphony of the Night. Because this game is just, it's the best. And if you have never played it, you are in for a treat, because there are so many different ways to play it. You can download it on the Android store. You can download an emulated version for a PlayStation emulator. You can get it on Xbox. You can get it on PS4. You can get it on PS3. You can get it on PSP, PS Vita. You name it. You can get this game in so many different ways, and with good reason. They made it available in lots of different formats because it's just that good. It's that good. So, this game is a must-have for